Ooh, almost empty. Alright, so my current tank of resin is almost empty, and that's 50 to 55 gallons of resin used. Well, I probably have maybe 5 to 10 left, but based on a rough estimate, I think it'll take two of those tanks to finish this boat. And my top pieces are going very well. These are the side walls of the higher roof parts inside the pontoons. And I've got 3 of those made so far. Hey, hat, move over. Yeah, I think those will come out great. And one spot, I'll cut a chunk out to fit those windows down. Yeah, those windows right there into these. And I gotta say, this whole sheet metal, these things, whatever you call them, the curvinators, these have been working out amazingly well. You know, I just figure out what shape I need to make something, use some binder clips to clip the curvinators in place, and then I make these things. And the curvinators are such a shape that makes it easy to get the roller up in there. With a 90-degree tight inside corner, it's hard to get the stuff right into the corner. Plus, if I want to connect anything on the, put some fiberglass around the outside, it's much easier with a curved part. So, with these pieces here, all my corners are curved. I'll have to sand this and clean it up a little bit, but yeah, those are working out really well. It was kind of good timing with the whole running out of the tank of resin, because I've had friends visiting for a few days, so I didn't have that much time to work on the fiberglass stuff anyway. I'd sneak off and do a piece here and there. And then I had to go help my friend with his dock, repairing that for a day and a half. But everyone's gone now, and when I returned people to town, I ordered a new tank of resin, which might be ready tomorrow or maybe not for another week, depending on which truck it ends up on. Okay, and what does ordering a new tank of resin entail? People are always asking me, how do you get supplies? Where do you get them? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. I've gotten them a few different places, but this time and the last time, I went to the store that sells gallons of resin, and this is a store that has generally pretty good prices, and it's just a very chill, relaxed atmosphere. So I went to one of the head honchos. I think it's like 2 brothers who own the store. I'm not totally sure, but that's the impression I get. But I went to one of the brothers who speaks a little English, and I asked him about it, and he said, "Oh, he doesn't do that stuff. I have to talk to the other brother who doesn't speak any English." But luckily, my Spanish is good enough. I'm sure I sound kind of like an idiot speaking Spanish, but I can get my ideas across, and that's all I really care about at the moment. So I basically said, can you get me a tank of resin, and can you match this price that I've gotten it before? The cheapest price I've gotten it before. And he said, okay, yes, and we'll have it here within like 4 days or something. I was like, really? Wow, 4 days? Because normally it's like weeks. I've waited like 2 months before to get resin. Anyway, this guy's on top of business, and I just go in there and say, hey, can you get me a tank of resin? And he's like, I remember you. And yeah, he's like, do you need me to order any fiberglass, any color, anything else? Just let me know. So then, to pick it up, I'll call him either today or tomorrow to check if it's there, and then I'll go to pick it up. And picking it up means I go to the store, say, hey, what's up? Let me pay for it. I already paid part of it, but let me pay the rest of it. And then his guys load the tank on a truck, which involves like 5 or 6 guys wrestling this tank of resin onto the truck and then driving it to the dock where the boat's parked, and then last time they all put it on the boat, which was kind of nice. And then, you know, we drive it here, and then I pull it off the boat by myself. And then there you go. It's kind of hard getting the, you know, like the 400 whatever pound, 450 pound tank of resin out of the boat without, you know, squishing any fingers or toes or anything. But it's doable. Like, I know, like, I've done it enough times that I know that even though it's strenuous, I can get a 450 pound tank of resin out of the boat onto a dock, even if I have to lift it up. Anyway, that's how I get materials, and that wasn't the first place I got them. I've gotten tanks of resin a couple other places, and at first I would just start asking around, and you know, can anyone get me a tank of resin? And you know, as I've been here longer, I've learned where I can get better deals, better quality stuff, and you know, all this stuff. And that's one of the advantages of being in one place for a little while, is you meet people, you learn how things work, and if you you know, treat people well, they treat you well back. So I have lots of, like, you know, friends around who help me out with figuring out where to get things, and I help them out with, you know, dock repairs, boat repairs, whatever. That's one thing I really like about the culture here, is that if you want something, if you're looking for something, you can't really go on the internet and look for it, because stuff isn't listed online. You just go talk to people, which I really appreciate, because I like that human connection. And I know, you know, I've lived a lot of my life as a hermit, and you know, I'm often trying to get away from people. But I do really like interacting with people in positive ways. I just don't like all the fighting and bickering that happens in a lot of places. That you know, and when I'm in those places, I try to stay away from people. But in general, you know, I really like interacting with people. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and hopefully this piece I just made is hardening. Oh yeah, it's already hard. Well, maybe I can get one more of those tonight, and I'll build a bunch tomorrow. But I'm going to run out of resin soon, so I'll have to go get that new tank. Oh, and also... supplies!